While it was already stated in the game that Serenade had defeated Bass, what would a fight between Serenade and Bass GS look like? That's what we will cover in today's video. I coded the encounter between the two Navis and did my best to match the patterns shown in the game. It's important to point out there's a slight difference between this simulation and how the NPCs in the game work. For example, Serenade only moves up and down and never left or right. Serenade will move left and right only if it detects it has no choice because of the hole the AI detected. I made it so that Serenade moves any direction so long as there is no hole. There are some differences in animation, but it comes pretty close to what we see in Mega Man Battle Network 3. Before we get into the fight, I'd like to share a few things I discovered while analyzing the patterns for each Navi. Serenade is unaffected by lava panels. He will only be affected if there's a hole close by or if he enters his Holy Shock animation. Also, I'm referring to Serenade as a he because that's what he was referred to as in the US version of the game. In reality, Serenade is stated to be gender fluid. Serenade is one of the few Navis in the series that has an attack that can go through iframes. Serenade can be damaged using step cross as long as she doesn't have any panels to rotate to. When Serenade is moving, he will take damage if he passes over a hole. If there is no hole present, he will have a guard point but will not use Sonic Boom. As long as Serenade is not rotating and Saint Light is not active, every 26 seconds or 1560 frames, Serenade will use Holy Shock. I know something you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking, but Zero, Serenade doesn't have an attack that can inflict 200 damage. Not true. When Serenade uses his ult, the block of energy he uses does exactly 200 damage. I didn't know this for a long time, and I don't think this is talked about too widely either. Enough about Serenade, what about Bass? Bass is fairly straightforward, but something interesting to note about him is his claw attack only targets rows 1 and 2. If you're standing in either of those rows, the claw will target you. If not, it will randomly choose a panel in both rows. Something that might confuse some viewers is that the Vanishing World Beam seems to be hitting the third panel. It's simply animated to look that way, but in reality it's not hitting it. Since Bass's Vanishing World attack in-game does not hit the third panel, as long as he is on the third panel on the blue tiles. And that's pretty much it for Bass as far as I'm concerned. This video will feature 3 fights. The first is Bass GS with 100 aura, the second is Bass GS with 200 aura, and the final fight is a what if fight. What if we half the time it takes for Serenade to use Holy Shock? I think the results would be interesting. And without further ado, let's get the show started. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video. I put in a lot of time into this. I put in roughly 6 to 7 months, and what sucks is I could have really had the time. I could have probably got this project out in about 2, maybe 3 or 4 months instead of the 6 or 7, because I was using HTML and JavaScript, and I was essentially just moving elements around. If I used something like HTML Canvas, I think I would have ran into less bugs and there would have been a lot less hassle. But for future projects, I plan on using either Godot or Mugen. You're going to be seeing more content like this, not just Battle Network, but Mega Man X series, the Mega Man Zero series, maybe even Resident Evil or Devil May Cry, right? So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a party, and I hope you guys can stick around. If you enjoyed the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Thank you for watching.